Welcome to YogiViews, where my guest is yoga itself, through interviewing those who practice it, teach it, sell it, or simply love it. I am Antonio Sausis. The presence of yoga at festivals is not new, and it goes back thousands of years. The Sanskrit word for festival is Utsava, and it literally means to lift higher. They were and are considered as symbolic rituals that beautifully weave individual and social life with yoga practices. The festivals typically celebrate events from yoga mythology and usually coincide with seasonal changes. Nowadays, and while many of these festivals continue to exist, yoga has made its way into other types of festivals that either did not include yoga in the past or are created as a blend of yoga and, for example, music. One of these festivals that include yoga in its program is Harmony Festival, an event that for the past 30 years or more has been a leading-edge lifestyle festival that celebrates the latest trends in health, music, arts, ecology, and spirituality. Created and seasoned in the North Bay area, Harmony is the original festival to appeal to the green lifestyle population and market. Over the past 5 years, Harmony expanded into a major music festival.
Give it up for the soulful band, Railroad Earth, everybody!
And added activities such as the Eco Rally Skateboard Competition, the Harmony Tea House, featuring freshly made baked goods, teas, live jazz, and sacred music in an intimate environment, and a larger VIP area with multiple amenities. The festival includes many areas organized as villages that serve as hubs for the different communities that participate. Pavilions where different non-profit organizations and diverse institutions present workshops and lectures representing activism, environmentalism, as well as occult sciences and self-help techniques.
Grace, and I'm just really happy here teaching people about compassionate communication that's done so much for me in my own life. It's a system developed by Marshall Rosenberg, like 40, 50 years ago, but it uses a wisdom that has potentially been around for centuries, and yet he put it into a wonderful form that was so easy to learn and to teach.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the Harmony edition of the Insect News Network. I'm very happy to have a special cameraman from our first greeting of the weekend. On the Insect News Network, we take you into the world of insects, beyond the creepy and the crawly, to the fun, the fascinating, the profound, and even the sublime.
An impressive array of craftsmen are organized in a gigantic bazaar that has almost everything you can think of for sale, serving a community that every year visit these vendors looking for what they know is there and for what is new each year. Whether young or old, married or single, hungry or thirsty, Harmony offers something for everyone, including an eco-village, a goddess grove, and even a living altar that holds the spiritual intention of the festival. Over 35,000 people attend the festival during the weekend and have the opportunity to camp in an area recently added and that brought a different flavor to the event. Many choose to come and go, while others camp in different settings according to their possibilities and likes. Musicians of all sorts perform at the different stages, including local as well as internationally renowned bands and artists, such as the popular Michael Franti and Spearhead. At night, the festival continues with performances and the anticipated techno-tribal dance, one of the most impressive and well-attended dance events in the area, bringing together outstanding DJs and bands, and that showcases the latest expressions of multimedia art and installations to create an ambiance that is quite unique. In recent years, Harmony, as many other festivals of the kind, added yoga, offering classes and lectures that congregates yogis coming from different styles and methodologies.
Children harmonizers of all ages, we are going to bring some great devotional bhakti yoga music over here to Goddess Grove. Yoga is better than sleep, as they say, so it's a good time to come on over, get loose. We all had a crazy, fun, interesting adventure getting here, I'm sure. Every one of us has a little story to tell about that. And what we want to do at Harmony is make sure that we all get grounded. And it was really important to us to keep yoga and kirtan, sacred music happening here, no matter how big or small the festival gets, no matter how many people or how few come. It's really important to be grounded, do yoga, do your service, do your bhakti. I couldn't think of a better lady to invite to do that on Saturday than Jai Lakshmi, my good friend. And so, let's rally the people, harmonizers out there. It's time to come to the Goddess Grove. We're going to ground ourselves, get energized. We have a big, big weekend ahead of us, big day. Lots of amazing musicians showing up. Tonight, the great Krishna Das is coming. So we can start the day with yoga and kirtan. We will end the night with amazing yoga and kirtan with Krishna Das and Last at Last. And so it's really going to be beautiful. So we figured who would be a great yogi to come out and be a daredevil yogi today. We have one. Pete Guinoso, Pete G from YogiViews Studios, and Jaya Lakshmi. We're just going to do a yoga flow here. Beautiful music, beautiful words, and grounded yoga from Pete. So enjoy yourselves. Tell some friends, come on out, folks. We're getting rolling here. So without further ado, Jaya Lakshmi and friends, and Pete G for some morning yoga. Thank you.
A full schedule of classes allow for real practice and social mingling while exposing popular teachers to an increasingly big audience. I had the opportunity to speak with one of the teachers that offer their knowledge to the attendees, guiding them through a particular set of asanas or yoga poses.
Well, man, it's good to meet you,
it's
and
good
to
to
have
well.
you here at the Harmony Festival.
Yes.
I just had an opportunity to shoot you teaching a class. And are you familiar with the festival environment, teaching yoga at a festival?
I am. I've taught at Burning Man a number of times, Bhakti Fest. I'm teaching at Wanderlust this year, and this is my second time teaching the Harmony Festival.
And what is your experience? What do you think?
Well, it's an amazing experience because you're outside, outdoors in nature, and you kind of roll with whatever kind of comes your way. You know, sometimes you hear people talking. Most of the time you hear this beautiful music behind you. Today I had an opportunity to work with Jaya, Lakshmi, Kirtan, and they were amazing. Just such a beautiful voice, and the musicians were amazing as well.
And what do you think is the effect of music being played live while you're teaching?
Well, it brings a whole nother kind of realness to and richness to the texture of the yoga practice. You know, you hear the music of the voice, the tones, the shifting when you're practicing yoga. You stop for a moment and just feel that beautiful voice in your heart and that beautiful music in your heart, and then you also get a chance to feel the nature, the sun shining on you, the wind blowing in through your hair. It's really profound.
And do you think that the music enhances the concentration or not? Because for a lot of people in other disciplines, it's destructive. So,
you know, from my perspective, I go back and forth on that, but I tend to lean on the side that music enhances the situation. And what I mean is that as a yoga instructor, my main goal is to get you to feel. And I do that with breath, I do that with awareness and nature, and the music, and especially live music, creates an opportunity to feel even more.
To feel
even
better.
more, yeah.
Could you pinpoint what is the feeling you're trying to promote in your
Well,
students?
you know, from my perspective, there's really no pinpointing of feeling good or feeling bad. It's just feeling. Most of us have shut down a lot from past trauma, past abuse. Maybe we're going through a hell at work or in a relationship. And as long as I can get you just to feel for a moment, I think that's one of my main objectives when I'm teaching yoga.
I'm sure you've noticed that most yoga classes are packed with women.
Yes.
And that for us guys is a bit, whatever, awkward, strange, not as usual to practice. What are your words of wisdom for guys?
Well, first of all, just like you said, there's a lot of women in the classroom. Second of all, it's a great workout. It's I'm a triathlete. Yeah. I used to run marathons. I've run half marathons. I've ridden 100-mile bike rides. I used to wrestle when I was younger. And the first thing I noticed when I started practicing yoga, that this is an amazing workout. And eventually, though, you start to find that there's so many more gifts than just the workout. There's, the physical asanas are amazing, but then you start finding clarity. You start finding you're connecting to your heart and connecting to your emotions, and it's a really powerful practice. But hey, come practice, get your workout in. And
what would you say is the main? You've mentioned the workout, you've mentioned some other gifts, but what would you say that particularly to a man yoga brings?
Well, I think it brings us back to our true self. I think in a lot of ways, as men, we've been drawn away this path of kind of connecting to ego and bravado and machismo, and those things are great, but there's another way of connecting into ourselves and therefore connecting to the earth in a much more compassionate, heartfelt way. And that's what yoga's gifted to me. Yeah.
What would you say is the main difference that we could say singles harmony out or characterizes harmony as different from all those other?
So Harmony Festival is different from Wanderlust in that there is the people here are much more eclectic. There's so much more of a diverse group here. There's a much more kind of earthy, kind of in some ways grounded vibe here, which is people are just kind of rich with being salts of the earth, as I call them, salts of, and so, the people are so much more diverse here. That was the main thing. Good. Exhaling, hands in prayer. Good. Coming forward into a forward fold in a seated position. Just begin to feel your body stretching. If you'd like to bring your feet into Baddha Konasana, you can here. Get more into your hips.
Music and dance mixed with yoga and conscious living in a way that expresses the multifaceted ways in which yoga has permeated our culture. More and more, musicians are now included as part of the classes, offering a musical background to the practice and an audible pleasure to those watching. One of them is Lakshmi, whom I had the pleasure to speak with.
I know that you obviously like kirtan, and this is what you do, but I also have noticed that you are present in many festivals while yoga is happening.
Yes.
And so I would like to know, what is your opinion, what is your impression of yoga at festivals?
Well, I think it's a growing movement. There's actually festivals that are just yoga festivals, more and more like Wanderlust is, primarily yoga festival, and it's growing. There's 10 of them a year, and then the Bhakti Fest. These festivals are recent. I think it's a growing trend, especially in America. But I'm actually going to Italy this summer for the Bhakti Fest, the Bliss Beat Fest over there, which she was also inspired by coming to America and seeing the West Coast, festivals in yoga and all different kinds of yoga. Bhakti yoga, practice of devotion, and I think I see it as just this way of the future, the way of being for festivals, because it's a beautiful way to be at a festival. It's changing. Festivals are a lot of times are focused around indulgence, just drinking or alcohol, smoking pot, or just partying, eating tons of, And this is a new kind of festival emerging, you know, and I see it. It's a trend in the last few years, and people are coming to festivals to get high on oxygen and pranayama and chanting the god and doing yoga and doing asana, and yeah, it's like it's a new way, you know.
And now, in regards to what you were saying, do you think that the experience of yoga is enhanced at festivals, or do you think that concentration suffers because of all these other distractions and things going on?
Well, it depends on what kind of festival it is. I mean, if it's a festival like Harmony Festival, it's pretty distracting. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on here. It's not like a yoga festival, you know. It's like, so where there is little pockets of yoga happening, or yoga class, I think depending on the environment, I think it can be pretty focused, and I think it's actually really wonderful to have the yoga in a, especially a festival that is really. I love Harmony Festival. I find it really overstimulating. So I really am like so grateful for this morning to have this class and just be like, just drop in and just be like, my body, my heart, my mind is we're all good, you know.
And do you think that because of coming here, some regular people that come for music get into yoga, get to know yoga?
Oh yeah, I think it's a wonderful way to expose yoga to people more in the mainstream, or people who aren't familiar with it. It gives them an opportunity to check it out if they're a little shy. Yeah, it gets integrated.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, and thanks for what you do in the festivals. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Knees put down, chest forward. Sliding through, take Sphinx or maybe Cobra from the Cobra pose. Top of the feet on the ground. Roll the chest forward. Take 3 really deep breaths into the heart. Feel it again.
The festival was created and founded by Deborah Giusti, who throughout her career of 30+ years served as entrepreneur and event producer for numerous companies and events, always interested in building community. One of her passions. You can see her both active in the organization of the event, as well as enjoying her creation just as any other participant.
Sun goes down, you're the one I wanna be with. When the sun goes down, you're the one I wanna be with. When the sun goes down, you're the one I wanna make some noise.
Deborah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'd like to know this edition of yoga in this more serious way. We know that there is a retreat within the festival, or a certain organized activity of yoga. This is something relatively new, right?
It's new that we've taken it to another level, but it's not new that we haven't always had it here. Because yoga's been here from the very beginning of the festival. Because this festival is about what was birthed in the 60s and moved forward. And yoga started appearing in our culture and in our awareness as a lot of the Indian teachers themselves came over from America. So it has always been a part of harmony in one way or another. But as it's become more prominent in the mainstream, and as the culture has really embraced it as a practice for their health and spirit, so harmony acknowledges that more and makes it more of a presence at the festival.
Now, I know that you are a practitioner, and I know that you've been devoted to this festival for many years, with ups and downs and strikes and gutters. Is this your yoga?
This is my passion, my spiritual mission, my divine assignment to bring this festival. And the yoga is what keeps me going. Literally, I'm on the computer, I'm on the phone, I'm making things happen. At the end of that, I go do my yoga. And that's what keeps me in balance and keeps me aligned, so I can get up again and do this type of work of presenting this to people. So that's
now,
the truth.
This year, also related to it happening in a more formal way, you have a sponsor. who is Yoga Tree.
Yes.
And Yoga Tree has a number of studios in the city, so it's interesting that an important yoga studio from San Francisco decides to sponsor your festival.
Well, that's how we bring things in. We bring whoever is really hosting and working with whatever it is, whether it's the Eco Village or whatever kinds of assignment. We invite them to partner with us and bring what they know and their resources and their teacher and their wisdom to the festival. So yes, we're really happy to have them be a part of us.
I know that you have been around other yoga festivals or music festivals that include yoga. What is your highest yogic hope for health and harmony?
Well, Harmony Festival has always been a holistic approach to everything. So I would love to still continue to honor some of the prominent teachers that are out there and invite them and inspire more of the mainstream to embrace it in their life, yoga as a practice. It being so prevalent now and available, people just need to realize the benefits and how they can incorporate it into their lives. And when they come to a festival and they do it and see it and experience it, when they see that yoga class down the street, maybe they'll go try it. So it helps inspire people more when they see lots of people participating and it's part of this world, which we call harmony.
Well, I have to say that the inclusion of yoga is just one more pearl in this stream. We don't have it, but because you have been a pioneer and an inspirational figure for so many years, and it's not just yoga, it's all forward thinking and activism and things that later on developed in so many ways, and you started them in a way. You were part of it.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, and thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
One of the great expressions of yoga, present anywhere from the most intimate setting to the biggest event, is the inclusion of an altar, a structure upon which offerings are made for religious or spiritual purposes. Altars occupy a prominent place in sanctuaries and churches, and even lately they have a place in the intimacy of a home. Architecturally, there are two types of altars, those that are attached to a wall and those that are freestanding and can be walked around. This is the case of the main altar at Harmony, located in the middle of the festival, a place where the community gathers to pray, find spiritual inspiration, or take a rest. Trinity Domino, a community leader and altar priestess, has been creating altars for years, and you might find one of her creations in many of the modern-day festivals dedicated to yoga or that include yoga in USA. Here's what Trinity shared with me at the past Harmony Festival.
What is your experience of yoga and festivals?
One, that there's not enough of it. It also is an invitation for people to do yoga. Like, there was people doing yoga here this morning.
Exactly.
This isn't a yoga space. It's not, booked in the guide as a yoga space, but people are always drawn here. There was a woman who was doing Kundalini yoga to the Buddha this morning here in the rising sun, and it does my heart so good to...
And I have seen this happening in many festivals, that even though some have an assigned yoga space, yet your altar becomes a natural practice space.
Absolutely, and people look forward to it, and they make their way here in the morning, in the evening, they stop here before they go to bed. And so subsequently, by bringing the temple spaces, I'm also beginning to be invited to the yoga conferences to do altars in the yoga classes, in the classrooms, which also is, I'm very honored to do that. I'm very honored to be able to create altars and co-create spaces for the different yoga teachers so that they know that when they're coming to a particular festival, that they will have a place that's being held and it was created for them.
And what is it that you think that an altar provides at a festival?
It is the grounding, it is the heart, it is the sacred reminder of who we are. It's the connection, it's the divine connection with ourselves, it's the divine connection with the heaven and earth. It's yoga itself. The altars are my yoga. Mm-hmm. It's my yoga.
They are your practice.
It's my union.
Your union.
Yes.
Exactly. There's an interesting mix at festivals, because we know that festivals are sometimes places for expansion and for excess and for alcohol and music and drugs. And how does that work with yoga? How do you feel this? Because it's interesting that yoga is present at this type of environment, and perhaps it's changing it in a way or not. What do you think?
To me, that is really, it's very important. The union of having the two worlds be married, and having it, having people get wild and crazy and all that, but then also having a place to come to and having a place to be held. And it's also invites the more sensitive people to come and to be, if they know that there's somewhere that is sacred, that they can come to again and again and again. The temple is open all the time. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for what you do, because it's beautiful. And thank you for the symbol that you bring to these festivals, because I believe that whether we are or not aware, we are all practicing yoga. But to have something that reminds you of that connection is wonderful. So thank you.
Oh, thank
and I'm
you,
sure
Antonio.
I will see you in other festivals, and I will talk to you again.
Thank you, Antonio.
Thank you.
Yoga is more and more an off-the-mat activity in the United States, a fact that reflects the true nature of yoga. The truth is that yoga is not what happens Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 6 to 7:30, but actually the way in which yoga principles are applied to everyday life, to each and every action and thought we experience. Yoga states that everything in the universe is integrated, that it functions as a unit. Yoga's presence at festival is one more expression of this truth. It would be interesting to witness what is the influence of the spiritual discipline in the years to come. Some say that many of the modern problems are a result of us having departed from the unit, creating things and situations that affected the whole in ways that we are only starting to perceive and understand. Perhaps yoga and its core concept, union, is the solution, a valid way of re-establishing an order we seem to have lost. May yoga continue to expand, and may these popular festivals be a way of bringing yoga back to everyone. I hope you liked this show. And if you care to share your opinion with me, shoot me an email at antonio@yogiviews.com. I look forward to seeing you the next time.